Hey guys, how are you all? I hope that everyone is cool. I believe that everyone has a very nice weekend. If you can hear me and the voice is okay, if the video is okay, if everything is okay, just let me know. Before starting this stream, I need to make sure that you can understand me or you can hear me perfectly. All good. Thank you. All clear. Thank you, brother. So, how was your weekend? Uh, as I just started 3 minutes ago, so I would love to wait until 9 a.m. New York local time. In the meantime, just let me know how was the weekend, how was everything, how are you doing, how is everything. Just let me know that. Thank you, Tavi, for confirming that loud and clear. Thank you, man. Hey, Ahmed, how are you, brother? We're still brother, right? No heads. All cool, man. I'm cool, man. Thanks for asking. Good, brother. Was the weekend? It was so cool. My weekend was so cool. I mean, it was cool. Thanks for asking, brother. By the way, brother. Little cold here, little rainy, but ultimately the weather is good and it was awesome. I will start around 9 a.m. New York local time. We'll wait for 2 more minutes for others to join because at the beginning I actually maximum most of the time I do the pre-market analysis and about my planning for the whole day. And then when later people join, they keep asking what is going to happen today or what is your bias or everything. So I'd love to wait 2 more minutes so that other people can join. I'm fine. Thanks for asking, Nar. How are you, brother? How was everything? I'm not a financial advisor, so whatever I'm doing here, it's not a signal service. So if anyone would love to take or copy the trade I'm going to take, it's your responsibility, your risk. Nobody's going to blame me. At the same time, I would love to clear one thing: whatever my bias will be, whatever I will look for, it doesn't mean you have to look for the same thing. If you think that your analysis is telling you to go against me, please go for that. If I'm looking for buy and you are looking for sell, and like it's contradictory, no worries, go for sell. For example, I'm looking for sell, you are looking for buy, go for buy. It doesn't mean that you are here to copy or to grab my analysis. You are here just to think like we are trying to compare ourselves with other people. For example, I'm also trying to compare myself with you. So my bias is bullish, your bias is bearish. Why your bias is bearish? Why my bias is bullish? We'll just try to compare ourselves with each other. That will help both of us. I will learn from you, you will learn, maybe you will learn from me. So it's kind of give and take. Nothing is expensive here, everything is for free. Last week I have completed the inversion fair value gap. I hope that concept is almost clear to all of you. Still, I'll try to give you some live example. I'll try, okay? I'm not a promise, but I'll try. I hope that everything is cool. So as it is 9 a.m. New York local time, I want to go for the pre-market analysis as well as my whole day plan. So I would love to go for that. Okay? No, US 30 I don't trade. That is Dow. Dow I don't trade. Even I don't look at the Dow chart. I am only trading Nasdaq right now. Maybe very soon I will convert to E-mini S&P. Very soon, not now. When the bias will be changed from monthly or daily basis, then I will go back to E-mini S&P. Until then, I will be here in Nasdaq. Okay, guys. Yeah, most of the people have joined already. Hi, Ravi. Thanks for the penguin. Hey, Outlander. My mod is here. Thanks, brother, for joining. I don't know about that, Sachin. It's a random, random thing. Thank you, guys, for that penguin and everything. Hey, Jonathan. I would love to start the analysis because around 9:30 the market will start and I don't want to miss this. Though I have no opportunity to trade before 10, because around 10 a.m. New York local time we have the PMI, which is a red folder news. So before red folder news, I am not interested to push the button. If it is medium impact news, sometimes we take the risk. But if it is the red folder news, no button should be pressed before that red folder news. At least you have to wait until that data release. After the data release, you are good to go. If you would love to wait a little more after the data release, that's better. But at least you have to wait until the data release. That means 10 a.m. New York local time, the PMI news. Until that news, you should wait, in my opinion, according to ICT. So yeah, hey Jackie, good morning to everyone, good afternoon to everyone, good night to everyone, good evening to everyone. Let's talk about the price action a little bit. Here I have the dollar index, and in dollar index, all you can see is the weekly chart. In weekly chart, I would love to talk over here. We had this relatively equal highs around this area, and this was the extreme relatively equal highs. Market went higher, taken that relatively equal highs, made an obvious liquidity. This high has been taken over here by a shallow run, which is called the obvious liquidity. Most of the time, I prefer to leave that obvious liquidity for later use. That means market will work a little lower, then it will go for that obvious liquidity. So I want to say it will leave like that way open and it will work with the lower portion. That doesn't mean it is going to do that. It can simply go higher and take that obvious liquidity right now. But that I don't want to see. Here we have this weekly last fair value gap around this area. Market has traded that weekly last fair value gap, body closed inside this last fair value gap, which is a sign that next time market is going to the concordant crossment. If the body close above the concordant crossment, that is the sign next time market will work with the upper level of that last fair value gap. If the body close above this last fair value gap, that is the sign market is going to break that last fair value gap and it is going for next buy side liquidity. Overall, I'm seeing this candle, weekly candle, as my buy side, as my bearish order block. From the low to the open, this is the bearish order block. The 50% from low to high, the 50% is called the order block mean threshold. Market can reach until the open or until the mean threshold. It can trade until that area. It is possible. But I want to see this highest up close body close candle is going to hold the price and send the price little lower. How far it can reach? Do you have any sell side liquidity here? No. I have the next sell side liquidity here. This low, this low and that low. They are relatively equal lows, which is my next sell side. Except this sell side liquidity from weekly chart, I don't have any other sell side liquidity. Though I don't want to see that market is going for that sell side liquidity, but obviously it can go for that sell side liquidity. So far, my intention to see if it can reach for this gap. Here is a gap. It can reach for that gap or not. That is my intention to see. So this order block reaction will send the price until this entry fair value gap from weekly chart for the dollar index. That is my first intention. That doesn't mean it is going to happen. And even if it happens, it can take like 5 weeks, 10 weeks, 20 weeks, 30 weeks, 1 year. I don't know. It can simply take long time to reach here, or maybe by 1 or 2 weeks, or maybe by 1 week it will come here, maybe by 1 day it will come here. So when it is coming here, that is not important. My important intention to see, can market come from that order block reaction to until this gap? Is it possible to come over here? As it is the the weekly chart, I don't need the exact thing. That means the entry fair value gap, last fair value gap, or any kind of precision over here, as it is the weekly fair value, weekly chart. At the same time, this is dollar index, so I don't need the precision in dollar index. Overall, I just need an idea what is this dollar index is going to do. Just an idea. Is there any PD array that is going to hold the price and send it in the opposite reaction? At the same time, after a big move, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. After 8 bull candle, there is just 1 bear candle. It doesn't mean that the bias has changed and now market is going to fall. There is no bearish fair value gap, nothing that can tell me that market is going to fall for this sell side liquidity. So simply, I'm not seeing this sell side liquidity is my next target from weekly chart. I'm just expecting a reaction from this order block, even if it is not mandatory to give me that reaction, but I'm expecting some kind of reaction from there. So from weekly chart, if I'm bearish from the weekly chart for dollar index, if I'm bearish, then for the weekly chart, Nasdaq, I will be bullish. Keep that in your mind. If I'm bearish from the weekly chart for dollar index, I will be bullish for the weekly chart in Nasdaq. If this is bullish, I'll be bearish in Nasdaq. So keep that in your mind, okay? Here I am in daily chart. So for as you can see, this is that high has been taken here by a shallow run. Okay, this swing high has been taken here by a shallow run. So if I see this, I put my buy side liquidity to the top of this shallow run as my next buy side liquidity. It doesn't mean that it has to take this buy side liquidity right now. The same way I want to see it will work little lower. Now over here, as you can see, this fair value gap, the highest fair value gap, price tap to this gap, went higher, take that liquidity. This gap is important for me. I want to see this gap work as an inversion gap. Now there is one more thing. If you would love to mark from that volume balance, it is also valid. I'm just going to mark it from the week to week. I want to see that this gap will hold the price and send it little lower. How far? Right now it has traded this gap, though it's a very small gap, but still I would love to see it will come either this gap or for that gap. Any of these gaps should be traded. Here nothing is unfinished. As you can see, market fall, went higher, consecutive order block, trade that order block, unfilled fair value gap. This is that unfilled fair value gap. I want to see this inversion fair value gap will send the price here, fill that unfilled fair value gap to make a breaker block, bullish breaker block. Until that, market will be bearish. I'm expecting like that way. So when it will fall until this area, Nasdaq will take that all-time high and it will make, it will reach until that standard deviation, and then when it will make the breaker block, then trade that breaker block, start to go higher again, Nasdaq will start to fall. This is my plan for dollar index. Right now, I want to see this inversion fair value gap again. This inversion fair value gap can be, you can mark it until that volume balance. There is nothing wrong. As you can see, it is trading the 50% of that inversion fair value gap, but I want to go week to week. Okay, so I'm expecting this is going to hold the price and sending it lower. In the meantime, there is another fair value gap. As you can see here, this volume balance to this high, which is another fair value gap. So what else it can happen? It can trade a little bit of this gap before falling, though I don't want to see that. I would love to see it will keep falling. That is my expectation, and I'm going to remove that line, that box from my chart. I want to see like this way. Okay, this inversion fair value gap last week we have covered. This inversion fair value gap, how I mark the inversion fair value gap: a gap which is invalid or that has no value. When market respect that gap, it has got some value. When body close below this gap, that valued gap is going to work as an inversion fair value gap. I don't want to see anybody close above the 50% of that inversion fair value gap. Body should close below the 50% of that inversion fair value gap, and then it should fall until a certain PTRF. So this is my expectation from dollar index daily chart. This is the hourly chart, and in hourly chart there is some fun here. As you can see, this fun, that fun. Do you understand this fun? They're the new week opening gap. So lot of gap here. Here in this zone has lot of gap. So if you look from that low to that high, this is a fun zone where market will come again and again. It will come there again and again. Same thing happened here. Look at this gap, that gap. See, from that opening to, okay, let me actually mark that so it will be easier for you to understand. From there to there, look at this gap, which is also an opening, new week opening gap or something. Look at this gap, and let me actually change the color. Green will be okay, and let me make it as a green as well here. So as you can see, market went lower. How it is respecting? See, it is respecting. Though I don't want to see it will go higher by respecting this gap. Instead, I would love to see market will close below. Use this gap as an inverse gap, not the inversion fair value gap like the way we are going to take the entry or something. Inversed new week opening gap or something like that. I would love to use it like that way. Then market will fall where we have the liquidity. This low has been taken here by a shallow run. See, this low has been taken here by a shallow run, which is also my obvious liquidity, which was over there until the higher portion job is done. When the job will be done, it will go for that sell side liquidity. That is my intention was there. So I am going to mark just the low of that obvious liquidity as my sell side liquidity. Okay. So you will mark from there with to there. So this line will start from there. I'm just going to mark it here. My intention is market will go for this sell side liquidity. When it is falling for this sell side liquidity, Nasdaq will go higher for buy side liquidity or the all time high. Now it doesn't mean that it is going to for that sell side liquidity by today. It can take the whole week to take that sell side liquidity, or maybe it will take by today. I don't know, but my intention is to see if it can go for that sell side liquidity. So overall, I'm observing this price action and I'm expecting that market will fall today and it will go for the sell side liquidity. That is my intention for today. Okay, right now, without anything, I'm just thinking like that way. I'd love to go for Nasdaq now. So this is the Nasdaq chart for the weekly. So from weekly chart, as you can see, this is that all-time high over here. That is that all-time high, which is also a shallow run. Okay, this high has been taken over here by a shallow run. Nobody closed above that high. So when it is a shallow run, I just mark the extreme high as my obvious liquidity. At the same time, this is the all-time high. Now, this is obvious liquidity. That means our buy side liquidity. This is all-time high, which is female. I mean, which is simply the extreme liquidity or something like that. We have some volume balance over there around this area. This candle close, that candle open, which is also a liquidity void. Lot of things I have over there. So my intention to see that market is going for that obvious liquidity. There is a problem. You see this gap. This is a new week opening gap. Okay, so I'm just going to mark that new week opening gap low because in 15-minute chart it's marked over there. Now as you can see, this candle didn't tap to this new week opening gap or this volume balance. That is the only thing made me confused. Why did it do that? If you go to your chart, I don't know is it clear over here or not, but this candle didn't tap to this gap. This is not something I like. I don't like it. Just because of that, all of the buy side delivery is my low probability. That is absolutely low probability for me. So if it could tap to this gap, I would be very much confident that market will keep going higher. By the way, same time I would love to remind you one thing, and that is today is Monday, which should be the accumulation day, but I'm not expecting the accumulation. I'm expecting the expansion today. Okay, expansion is my expectation today, not accumulation. Why is that? Maybe if I get that expansion, I will explain that later. Okay, right now I'm not going to explain. Just remember, accumulation is not my expectation today. Expansion is my expectation. That means Wednesday and Thursday we see the expansion, right? Trend is my friend, something like that. I'm expecting that today, not accumulation. I'm just expecting the expansion. No, it's not because of PMI, because most of the time if you see in Monday, if there is a PMI, I keep saying that it will be highly volatile accumulation, but today I'm not expecting the accumulation at all. I'm expecting the expansion. It will depend. When I'll be in daily chart, I will talk about them, but so far that small inefficiency or that small not precise price action made me so much confused. Why did it do that? I didn't like it at all. If it could tap to this new week opening gap, I would be very happy to look for the buy, just only buy. I would be very happy to look for the buy. As it didn't do that, now I'm little confused. Okay, so I need more time to see what is going to happen. Over here, this is that weekly order block, breaker block. If you remember, I talked about this breaker block. It's not hindsight. This is that last fair value gap from daily chart. I told that before closing the price above this last fair value gap, there can be some kind of bounce. Last fair value gap, breaker block. Last fair value gap, breaker block. Last fair value gap, breaker block. Something like that, of that type of bounce. At the same time, I told I want to see the body close above this fair value gap. At the same time, above that high. If it can close above that high, that is the sign that market is extremely bullish for this all-time high. So far I want to see a body close above that high. The best case of scenario, there will be a fair value gap. If market just go above that high and then closed below that high, okay, that high, that level, not like around that area. So I'm just exactly marking this level, that line. If market go above that high and then close below that high, it will be little more consolidation in my opinion. But if there is a body close and there is a speed, like that type of speed, see this is speed, that candle is speed, not this type of candle, not that type of candle, not that type of candle, this type of candle, this type of candle, this type of bull candle, very strong candle, that is going to clearly telling me that no, I have broken that high, I didn't take that liquidity, now I don't want to work with the lower portion. If I see that, that is the best case of scenario for me, and I would love to go for that. At the same time, what can happen, this body can close above that high. See this lowest down close body close candle which has traded that breaker block. What is that called? Breaker block, order block. So what can happen, when this candle will close there, it will be valid as a breaker block, order block. It can come back again to trade that break. Listen to me carefully, okay? It can just close above that down close candle, and it will take the high of that line, just high of that line, can come back again to trade that breaker block, order block, or the 50% of that breaker block, order block before expanding higher. It is also possible. We'll see, we'll look for that. I hope that I'll be here for the rest of the week, so we'll talk about that, okay? So that is my intention, to see how it is going to work by today. Again, I'm not expecting accumulation, I'm expecting expansion, not accumulation. And if I get the expansion, I will talk about that to our Discord around the PM session. So if I get the expansion by this morning session or the PM session, whenever I'll go to the Discord live. Again, that is all for free. If anyone would love to join our Discord group, you can get the link on the in the pin comment, or Tamimi or Outlander is here, please provide them the link, okay, to the comment box. It's absolutely free, so if anyone would love to join us, you can join, okay? I'll go for the Discord live and I will explain why I expected the expansion today, why I was like pretty much sure that it will be an expansion, not the accumulation. But I will talk about that after getting that, because if I don't get it, I'm not going to talk about that. Or maybe we'll change our decision, we'll see that later. Right now my intention is to see how this daily bullish bearish fair value gap of the last fair value gap is going to hold the price. Is it going to hold the price, or the market is going to break that last fair value gap from daily chart? That is my expectation by today, to see if it can expand higher and closed above this daily last fair value gap, okay? Let's go to the 4-hour chart. This is the 4-hour chart, and I'm going to close this line. That is that line I marked it from daily chart, if you remember. This is that buy side liquidity. I marked it as my buy side liquidity, but to be honest, that is not the buy side liquidity, okay? This is not the buy side liquidity, but I want to see it will close above that high, or it will go at least above that high. That is my intention to see. That's why I just marked it as my buy side liquidity. All of these things I have already explained last week, how it has traded the order block, mean threshold, everything, last fair value gap, why that week 50% is important. When market failed to trade that 50%, look at here, failed to trade that 50%, how it fall, took all the sell side liquidity, now come back again to trade that constant enforcement. I want to see a body close above that 50% of that week. Why this time frame and this week, not in hourly chart, not in daily chart, because from the daily chart and the hourly chart we have the week there as well, right? Here, look at this week, we have the week from daily chart, we have the week from hourly chart as well. Here in hourly chart we have the week as well. Why it is important from hourly chart, we have already talked about that. why this week 50% is important. I want to see a body close above that 50% of that week from 4-hour chart. So this candle is going to close around 10 a.m. New York local time. That means after 37 minutes. I want to see this candle is going to close above that constant encroachment of that week. If it happens, then this high is pretty much sure or confident for me to be taken by today. So it is my intention from the higher, very high time frame. You know that I'm expecting that market will go higher and at least it will close out that high. That is my intention to see. That doesn't mean it is going to happen. It doesn't need to do that. But that is my intention to see that market will work like that way. Absolutely, it has taken this relatively equal highs. It can fall now, though I don't know where it will fall. But that is not my intention at all to see. I would love to see it will keep going higher. And yeah, this is how it will work from the 4-hour chart. I want to see this body will close above that dotted line. That's all I want to see from 4-hour chart. Let's go to the hourly chart. If you come to this hourly chart and over here, nothing is important except this run over here. That is the run from Friday, and this is the Friday high over here. This is the Friday low around this area, I guess, if I'm not wrong. This is the high, this is the low. Today is Monday. If it was an accumulation day, if it works as an accumulation day, how should it work? It has taken that Friday high and all the relatively equal highs. It should come back again inside that Friday range, Friday high to Friday low. It doesn't need to go for that Friday low, but it will work rest of the day inside this range, Friday high to Friday low. It should work like that way. If it doesn't want to work as an accumulation, which I want to see, no accumulation should be happening today. Instead, it should be the expansion. It should keep going higher and doesn't need to come back again inside this Friday range, which I want to see. I don't want to see price will come back again inside that Friday range. I don't want to see. Absolutely, I can be wrong and it can be an accumulation day, but we'll talk about that later when 10 a.m. New York local time will release the news. Then it will be almost clear that is it going to be an accumulation day or is it going to be an expansion day. So I'm expecting something. I will wait for the price action until 10. So 10 will tell me what is going to happen. Okay. So over here, as you can see, entry fair value gap, last fair value gap, working as a breakaway gap. Entry fair value gap has been traded lot of time. It has been traded this entry gap. Then market expand higher, took all of this buy side liquidity, that high, are relatively equal highs, made that relatively equal highs much more stronger by that high. So it was the strongest liquidity. Market went higher, took that liquidity. Obviously, I want to see like this type of bull candle above the liquidity level, and I wanna see a fair value gap over there above the liquidity level. That is kind of confirmation for me that market will tap to this support zone. Supports are going to be turned into the resistance, right? The retail concept, that was the resistance. So resistance are going to turn into the support. How? Because from the ICT concept we got a fair value gap over here above that liquidity level. So that fair value gap is going to be traded and market is going to go for some buy side liquidity or some until certain level. We'll see, we'll look for that. But at the same time, if everything is wrong, market from 4-hour chart market doesn't close above this constant encroachment. From hourly chart it has just taken that buy side liquidity and closed inside the range, then it can work lower because I have this sell side liquidity. See this relatively equal lows over there, we have sell side liquidity over there. It can go for that and it can work as an accumulation day today. Again, I'm not expecting accumulation. Let's go to the 15-minute chart. So from 15-minute chart, everything is pretty much clear. This was that breakaway gap. If you remember, I was bearish until this level. I was absolutely bearish. Then I was bullish until a certain level. Then there was like the day I didn't trade at all because it was pretty much holiday. In my opinion, in holiday we should not trade, and it went through this new week opening gap. But when it went through this new week, every single time market went through the gap, look how did it work. Whenever market went through this gap, how did it work? Look over here, see this run. When this run happened, look at the candles over there, look at the candles. See the size of that candle when it went through this new week opening gap. Look at the candles when it went through this gap. Okay, look at the candle size. I don't like to trade inside this gap because this gap is going to define my what to say, I mean the direction. And when it really would love to go through that area, it should go through like this way. Speed. See the speed, like I don't know here or any other example or not, but I need this type of speed. Here is one thing I didn't like again, and that is market never trade that new week opening gap high, not even a single time. That is the look here. This high, sorry, this low, that no low tap to this new week opening gap high. It's not precise in my opinion. It's random in my opinion. From 15-minute chart, it's random. I don't like this randomness. So this is the only thing that is holding me not to look for extreme buy, and that is the only thing that is making me less confident about the extreme bullishness or expansion. Just because of this, market didn't tap to this new week opening gap high. If any of this low could tap to the at least new week opening gap high, I would confidently say that today is gonna be the expansion day. Just because of this, I'm little confused, and I will wait until the PMI to see, is it really gonna be like expansion day or is it going to be the accumulation day. Again, this is the high, this is the low of Friday. So this high and this low is important for today, and if it is an accumulation day, market will come back again inside this range. If it is an expansion day, it doesn't need to come back again inside that range. Yeah, it can use that range high or upper quadrant as a bullish PDRA, and then boom, it will keep going higher. We'll talk about this later. We are very near for the 9:30 open, as we have left just 1 minute left. I'm gonna stay in 1 minute chart here, in 1 minute chart, and if anybody has any confusion, you can tell me right now. Okay, because yeah, so now stay here in 15, and 1 minute is on my left to see how it is going to work. No, Sachin, I'm not going to do that. I have no way to record that, and I'm not going to record it, by the way. I mean, it's a hassle for me, to be honest, brother. I'll just go for that and the PM session. I know some of you can miss that session, but yeah, if you can talk to any of my moderator and if they can do it for you, thank you. But I won't be able to do that. So please talk to the moderator and any of them. If any of them can record it for you guys, I have no problem. But I won't be able to do that. Okay. So this is the 9:30 open. I'm sorry to say that, by the way. Please don't mind. So this is the opening gap after 9:30. This is the opening gap, the 50% of that opening gap. Now, how we are going to use this opening gap? When the market opened here around 9:30, this is the closing of 114 in Friday. Look, 114 in Friday, because we had the holiday in Friday. So market closed at 1:14 p.m. When the market closed over there around 1:14, this is the open. First, I would love to see it will work at least until the 50% of that opening gap. That is my first intention, to see if it can do that. It doesn't mean that it has to do that, but if it do that and my bias is bullish, I'll be very strong about my bias. If it doesn't do that, that is the low confident for me to take the buy, because market left that maximum portion of that opening gap open. So it is the liquidity void. It always work as a magnet. Okay, it doesn't need to do that again, but if it do that, that is the best case of scenario for me. Okay, that was that high. If you remember, that high has been taken. I want to see that it will keep going higher. Okay, I'm not expecting any kind of accumulation today. Nothing. It will keep going higher. That is my intention. Why is that? I will explain it to the Discord if it happens. If the expansion happens, okay, I'll explain that in the Discord around the PM session. If anyone would love to join us in our Discord, you are welcome to join. It's for free. How do I know that it's gonna be the expansion, not the accumulation? I don't know any kind of magic, by the way. Some of you can think that okay, this guy knows some magic. No, I don't know any magic. There's some classical logic. If you just write down those logic, you will see you can predict that beforehand, even before me. No trade is valid until 10 a.m. New York local time, as we have a news around 10 p.m. So that news is going to confirm that today is not gonna be the accumulation day. Today is gonna be the expansion day, or today is gonna be the accumulation day, not gonna be the uh, expansion day. It's gonna be the like either way. Okay, either it will be expansion day or the accumulation day. It's gonna be decided by 10 a.m. New York local time news. By the way, guys, thank you for joining and make sure that you have pushed the like button. If any of you are new over here, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. By the way, when I was explaining the price action, was that difficult to understand? Give me some feedback as well, because it is important for me to understand that you guys are getting my point or not. I try my level best to make it much more simple way to explain so that everyone can understand why and how I'm looking for buy and why and how I'm looking for sell. What is the reason behind that? I always try to make it much more simpler. I just remove that subscriber things from the bar because these 3 days, sorry, this one day is extremely important for all the prop firm trader. So I put all the prop firm things, and I will talk about that, Peter. After a little, I will talk about that because the my funded futures, take profit trader, Apex, they have a lot of things. Okay, so if you are a prop firm trader, it's time to buy some account because they have the Black Friday offer, which is going to be vanished within one day. Tomorrow is the last day. As you can see, 90% off for Apex account. My funded futures has 25% offer for starter plus and the expert. I will talk about them after a little. Just let me focus. Let me see this market a little bit, then we'll talk about that as well. Some of you actually give me the private message. What is the differences between those those accounts in expert account, then the starter plus account? So I'll talk about them a little. Though I'm not expert, but I'll try to explain them. Perfect explanations. Per brother, can you mark 9:30 correctly, please? And so I know which are clear. Okay, more. Yes, sir. I can try to mark the first presented travel gap after 9:30. Though it's according to me, not according to ICT. So if anyone get confused, I'm sorry for that. This is that 9:30 candle. Then this candle is more than 5 candle. This candle is more than 5 candle. So this is my first presented travel gap after 9:30. I will use this candle as my first presented gap after 9:30, and it is according to me, not according to ICT. So if anyone get confused or think that I'm just spreading misconcept, no, it's according to me, not ICT. Okay? By the way, guys, what is your bias today? Are you bullish or bearish, or are you feeling accumulation? I did it right now, Morad. I just did it. Thanks to all of my members, and I really appreciate your appreciation. Thanks for that appreciation, man. I really grateful to all of you, to all of my members for that appreciation. Thank you so much, by the way. I know that I'm not doing it great for you guys, special or something like that, but I can't do it. So I hope that you're not going to mind or not going to give me any complaint. Instead, you will understand the fact we are doing over here. CS, how are you, brother, by the way? Let's see, man. It will take time, I guess. 10K. Oh, man. It was like out of my dream, even. I never think like that way. Never. But yeah, your love made me 9K subscriber. Thank you so much, guys. Later, I'll talk about them. What is the difference between expert starter, which is $80 uh, per month? It should be the $80, and the starter plus. This one. We have 25% off for this expert and the starter plus, 25% off, and it will be $80 per month. Okay? Not $150 per month. It will be $80 per month. Hey Dean, was for that thanks, man. Hey Kippy, what's that? Kippy Kippos 2. I guess Kippy Kippos 200 or something. But I don't trade Dow, that means US 30. I don't trade that, and even I don't analyze that as well. So if you are trading the Dow, you can go for that. hmm A very bad situation. This is absolutely bearish. From 15-minute chart, it's absolutely bearish. Perfect bearishness. Let's see what she is doing. She is in middle, not bearish, not bullish. She is in middle, and NQZ 2024, and he is extremely bullish. So three of them in a three different way. So this market is not correlated right now. Should wait. Costuming and all explanation. Okay, that's good. Great achievement for me, by the way. A simple thanks can change a lot of things. Dollar index is bullish. This guy is bullish. They should be opposite. When it is bullish, where I was expecting it will be bearish, still this candle doesn't mean anything because this is from hourly chart. That doesn't mean anything. Maybe it is trying to trade any of this gap before falling, or maybe it will tap to this gap here, this gap, new week opening gap, one more time. It can happen as well, but either way it is bullish. Nasdaq is bullish, so they are like correlated. If they are correlated, they're working parallelly. I don't like it. I don't want to use it. Right now, observing this gap, can this gap hold the price, send it lower again? So this gap is my intention to see. Can it work? If it doesn't work as a bearish gap, are you willing to use this one as an inversion gap? 100% no. I've already explained how to use the inversion gap. So please don't think that even if it doesn't work as a bearish gap, I will use it as a bullish gap. No, I'm not going to use that like that way. Okay. I'll just observe this price. As you can see here, they are not working all together. They should work in the same way. As they're not working in the same way, I'm just not interested to touch it until the 10 a.m. either way because of the news. And after 10 a.m., we will see. We don't know that, SK. We have to wait until 10 a.m. the news release, because that news release will tell us how this market is going to work. So I'm interested to wait until the 10 a.m. news. Okay, RTY is also diving. Perfect. I mean, this market is not correlated right now, so don't touch it. Though it is going hard, no need to touch it. At least until 10 a.m. Don't touch it. I'm extremely bullish for Nasdaq, but it doesn't mean it is going to happen. I mean, it is going to support me. Lot of things is unfinished here. See this unfinished business over here or the randomness over here. I don't like this randomness over here. I don't like it. If any of them could tap over there, I would simply look for a buying opportunity. As it didn't do that, I'm not simply going for the buying right now. I'm waiting to see can it reverse one more time and make the accumulation, the normal narrative for Monday. Can it work like that way? But I'm waiting for the news because the news is going to confirm that is it extremely bullish or is it extremely bearish. That news will tell me that. So I will wait until the news to see what is going to happen. Shochin, just give that message to our Discord brother, not here in Discord. Just give that message over there, okay? So I hope that someone can, maybe someone can do it for you. Hey bro, how are you, brother? I'm all cool, man. Thanks for asking. I'm cool, man. Pro Therapist recommend your stream. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, bro, for recommending, man. Why I was expecting this thing, I will explain that in the PM Discord. Okay, it was not hindsight. I explained it beforehand. Okay, but why I was expecting that, I will explain it to the PM Discord. What was the reason before? How did I know that it is going to happen? How did I know that it is gonna be the trend is my friend? How did I know that? So I'll explain that to the PM session Discord. Okay, there is no fair value gap. I thought that there will be a fair value gap, but there is no fair value gap. Thank bro, wasn't streaming, so the best thing my viewers can do learn from you as well. Thank you, bro. Sharad, I have already explained that in the Discord, brother. Good morning, Jamie. Just look at the speed here. That was an awesome speed, man. To be honest, it's an awesome speed. If there was a fair value gap, that could be my buying opportunity until this buy side liquidity. If there was just one tick gap, as I don't have the gap over here, as you saw that I marked gap, but later market actually closed that gap 100%. If there was a gap, that would be my buying opportunity here. This would be my buying opportunity until this buy side liquidity. Just because of there is no fair value gap. No, you're not going to take this entry. I'm just explaining that could be the buying opportunity if there was a fair value gap. Why is that? Trend is my friend. Market went lower. Take the sell side liquidity. Market structure shift. Fair value gap. Entry gap or something. Breakaway gap here. Let me remove this gap. Breakaway gap. Entry gap. I would take that buy from that entry gap until this buy side liquidity. Just for learning, okay? Not kind of entry setup or something I'm going to mark. No, not like that. So as there was no gap, I had no opportunity to take that buy. How far it has provided already 25 handle, which is more than enough for being profitable, which is more than enough. But I want to see that it will reach at least until that line. So that would be my intention to go for that one. But I believe that if you go a very lower time frame, you will find a gap over there, like 15-second or 30-second chart. You will find some kind of gap over there. Right now, don't want to see this line to be violated, or this whole candle should not be violated. So let me actually mark the whole candle here to here. It should not be violated right now. Please don't take entry because no entry is valid before 10 a.m. uh Pro, I use it if it is untouched, like here. As it is untouched, market never touch this gap. If it doesn't touch it for the first time, never, until it is not going to be touched, I'm gonna keep it over there. So you are asking about 14th November. Let me check. 14th November. Oh, okay, it's already over here. I guess it's from 14th November if I'm not wrong. Let me check actually. Let me check. I don't know why it's. Oh, okay. I am not able to see before here, but I guess that is from 14th November if I'm not wrong. It is already over there because it never touched. Hey Neon, thanks man. I'm all cool man. Yeah, we have PMI around 10, so no entry is valid for me until the PMI. It has been violated. I really didn't want to say it will be violated because that should work as a word block, not a perfect order block as we don't have the gap. So remember, this entry is not valid just because we don't have the gap. If there was a gap, that could be an entry opportunity. We wouldn't look for that buy, but it could be an opportunity to take the buy before the news. So something like that. But as we don't have the gap here, this entry is not valid at all. So please don't think that it is a buy we tried to take. No, it's not something like that. So last minute before the news. So let's see, the news can send the price higher, or is it going to send the price lower? Obviously, it can send the price lower, but we will see that around news is going to be decided what the market is going to do. I mean, where market is going actually. If it is an accumulation day or if it is an expansion day. So the news is going to confirm that. This is the news candle that should, if there was a gap, this should be my order block, but as I don't have the gap, it's not the order block again. it has taken that high, okay, which is actually the liquidity. So it has taken that liquidity. Now it can reverse. I don't want to take that risk, to take a huge loss. So I trailed my stop loss. I know it's a very fast trailing stop loss. I don't want to hold my trade for that huge loss. Instead, I would love to put my stop loss in a logical level, just below that first presented gap. I didn't see it before, but as a pro told, I marked it before, but I just forget to trail it to my right. So that constant crossment should not be traded one more time. My stop loss, I just put it below that constant crossment one more time, as the liquidity has been taken here. If the body close above this high, okay, the body closed there, stop loss is below this fair value gap constant crossment. If it come back again, stop me out, I'll get stopped out over there. Is it trailing stop loss? Too fast trailing stop loss, because I don't want to take that risk when market has taken that liquidity. The liquidity has taken over the 100%. Now market can reverse. I don't want to take that risk, so I will get a smaller loss instead of that big loss. So here just 6 handle stop loss. If it provide me the partial, I'll put my stop loss to the break even, if it can provide the partial. Otherwise stop loss will be there until I get stopped out, just because it has taken that liquidity. One candle closed, the very next candle closed below that high, which is called the liquidity taken. Perfectly has taken that liquidity. Don't wanna take more risk, so my stop loss is here. One more body close above that high, that means the confirmation of the bullishness. One more candle close above that high, that is the confirmation of bullishness. If I see another candle close above that high, above that line, my stop loss will be to the break even. It's now break even. This candle should hold the price. It should not breach that candle, that down close candle. At least before taking that buy side liquidity. After taking that buy side liquidity, 100% can reverse, and whatever it wants to do, it can do. But before taking that liquidity, it should not breach that candle. So my stop loss should be at the break even. That means I'm risk free. Now prematurely I'll get stopped out, I'm okay with that. Because of the logic, I don't want to take that 600 loss at all. This low should not be breached. If that low is breached, that means it can fall little more for until this gap again, or maybe until this last gap. I don't want to take that risk, so my stop loss will be there to the break even. Okay, got a stopped out. So would love to see if my stop loss was there, was that helpful or not, or did I do something wrong by trailing my stop loss. Just keep it over there to make sure that did I did the right decision or not. Sometimes it happens that after stopping me out, it hit my target. It happens sometimes because of my uh, first trailing stop loss. I get stopped out prematurely, but I want to make sure that I did the right thing. I think I trailed my stop loss little faster. Yep, I trailed my stop loss little faster. Got stopped out prematurely. Okay, it happens. Okay. Trading plan was good, but because of my trailing stop loss, I got stopped out prematurely. But it's okay. Sometimes shit happens, right? I mean, sometimes shit happens. Perfect. We'll see how it is going to work. This candle doesn't need to come here. Just that one candle doesn't need to come back again there, but it's okay. So far, I think today is not gonna be the accumulation day, it's gonna be the expansion day. Okay, so I will have more opportunity to look for the buy again and again. For example, it has taken that liquidity market structure shift again. This is the fair value gap, another opportunity for me to take the buy from this fair value gap here, around this fair value gap. Another opportunity to take the buy from there, around this area. Not going to push the button, but just saying. Trend is my friend. From there, stop loss is gonna be very tight, something like this. Target until here. That minus 1.5 standard deviation. Another opportunity to take the buy. Not going to take it, but just showing you. Market took the liquidity, swing low, market structure shift, fair value gap, tap to this fair value gap until that minus 1.5 standard deviation. Maybe little above that, maybe until 20. Okay, just make it 20. but my intention to see it will tap to this line, at least to that line. I'm just outlining it because I'm just trying to show you that even if I got stopped out over here, I don't care about that. I'll do the same thing until it is going to providing me the opportunity to take entry. Look over here, even if I go for the straight, my stop loss is just 13 handle. Okay, not something like huge. Here I had the stop loss for 31 handle. And here we have just 13 handle, just 13 handle. Not even like 20, 15 handle, just 13 handle stop loss. First partial, second target. First partial for 20 handle, second partial for that new week opening gap low or that minus 2.5 standard deviation. Don't wanna see this parallel cap is gonna be breached. It should hold the price, send the price higher. According to our rules, trend is our friend. Market went lower, take that low, which is the liquidity taken. Market structure shift, only fair value cap, immediate reaction should reach until this area, until that minus 2.5 standard deviation right now. Covered that propulsion block only. That propulsion block has been covered only. The top of that propulsion block. So far, market has taken the 15-minute buy side liquidity from the 15-minute chart. Let me show you this. This is that 15-minute buy side liquidity which has been taken. Do I have anything around this area? No, nothing. Next buy side liquidity is over there. So until this area, it can keep going higher. Murad, I'm not taking that entry because it's not like something very confident entry or something like that. That's why I didn't push the button. If it was very confident or something, I would have gone for that trade already. Okay. 13 handle would be the losing trade over there if I would go for that trade. If I would go for that trade, that 13 handle would be the losing trade. When I'll see something very good and confident for me again, I'll go for the I'll push the button. Don't worry, okay? I'll go for the trade again. Until then, I will observe the price. I will feel the market. I will do everything until the next entry opportunity. Not looking for sell. Selling is not my option. Selling is not my intention. If anyone is willing to take sell, please go for that. I have no answer for that, Cyber. I have no answer for that. Premium and discount, brother. Hey, Shuzivan, that's good decision, brother. See you tomorrow. Cyber, I told that it's gonna be the expansion day today, even before starting the session. And I told that when it will be expansion, I will explain it to the PM session Discord live, brother. So I will explain it why I was expecting that huge pump today. Uh, I'll explain it to the PM session Discord live, brother. How did I know that it's gonna be the pump today? By the way, you have a very nice name, Cyber Attempt. That is a nice name, brother. If I were looking for an inversion gap, can anyone tell me which candle gap could be my bearish inversion gap? Anybody can tell me? Because last week I clearly explained the inversion gap. So anybody can tell me if I were looking for a sell. For example, I'm not looking for a sell, but if I were looking for a sell, which candle gap should be my inversion bearish gap? I need to know the time, exact time, which time you are mentioning. 10, 12, 10, 12. This gap as inversion? No. 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Okay. Gupta is telling this one. Okay, I'll talk about that later. 10 a.m. Priyanto. I'm asking from the 1 minute chat. Anybody can tell me that? 10. Okay, Theo. Okay, I can see that. Yeah. This 10 gap, I will use it as my inversion gap. This gap. Thank you, by the way, Theo, uh, mm, Priyanto, and Gupta. Alpha Trade as well. Thank you, man. Yeah, this will be my inversion gap. If I want to look for a inversion gap for bearish market, this could be the inversion gap for me. I'm not looking for a sell, so I'm not gonna use it as my inversion gap. Can anyone tell me if I want to change? Yeah, Sachin, that is the gap. Anyone can tell me if I want to change my bias from bullish to bearish, what I will look for right now? What is the first thing I will look for right now? Anyone can tell me that? Brother, I'm questioning because if I question, you will write it down and you will keep that in your mind just because of that. Okay, okay, okay. I can see a lot of answer. Yeah, 15-minute bearish gap. Absolutely, brother. Now, this question is little tricky, but can anyone tell me how can I use this gap for bullish, not bearish market? Okay, for bullish market, how can I use this gap? What I will call this gap, not bearish. Okay, reclaimed. Absolutely, 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 absolutely. That's the reclaimed. The difference between trap and reclaim is Trough fair value gap doesn't take the liquidity. Reclaimed fair value gap take the liquidity and then worked as a reclaimed gap. This is the difference between reclaimed and trough gap. Guys, you are awesome, man. You're really awesome. Absolutely, Ketan. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely, SK. Absolutely, Gupta. Perfect, man. Perfect, perfect, perfect. You guys are 1,000 times better than me. Now, one more question. For example, this candle closed above this reclaimed gap and then tap to this gap. I took the buy here. I took, for example, okay, I took the buy here. Where should be my stop loss? Anybody can tell me that? I'll go for that actually. If it closed above and then retest this gap, I'll go for that. If it do that, anybody can tell me that? Stop loss should be below the closest order block. 100%, 100%, 100%. Oh man. Oh, that's cool, man. Seeing this last gap as well. Here, see this gap from the 1 minute chart, last gap. Not only above this reclaimed gap, but also I want to see a body close above that gap as well. So above this line, I want to see a body close above this line as well. Okay, not only that reclaimed gap, but also above that line. As this is the last 1 minute gap. Do you know why I'm not looking for sell yet? I mean, yeah, if I would love to look for a sell, obviously, like I need to wait for a bearish fair value gap, 15-minute bearish fair value gap. But instead of that, what is telling me that I should not look for sell? Can anyone tell me that? Why I'm not still looking for sell? Can anyone tell me that? No, JJ, no, not that one. Did not. Aditya, that is I mean, that is a logical. I mean, that is partially correct. That is partially correct. Okay. Not exactly that. No, not no, no, no. Okay. Let me tell you that. So far, it has taken that high. Okay. It has taken that high. Now, there is no higher time frame PDRA. Yeah, I can force the market to make it as an order block. That means if market reverse, it can reverse by using that order block. This highest up close body close candle has traded this fair value gap. Okay, so I can force it as my order block. So if I mark it from there to there, the 50% is there, and as you can see from 15-minute chart, it has exactly traded that min threshold of that order block. It is logical that it can reverse from there. It's logical. But still, I need to use a fair value gap over there. The last fair value gap or something like that. Something like that. Okay. Something much more cleaner. Not just the order block min threshold. It can reverse from there, but still I need some kind of bearish fair value gap. So if I get that bearish fair value gap, that would be the best for me to think that market is now going to reverse. Still, it looks like random to me. Again, it's not perfect randomness, but still it's look like random to me. It can reverse from there because this is the min threshold of that order block. Still, I want to see it will trade the last fair value gap or at least the entry gap, any of them from 15-minute chart. Is that clear? I mean, though it is possible that it can reverse from there, but I want to see, this is me personally, me want to see any fair value gap should be traded. So that is my intention to see. Okay, so if I just make it little complicated, I'm sorry to for that, but I guess you got my point. Not interested to take that buy right now. That means I can miss that trade because this candle didn't close above that last gap. See this last gap, this candle, if it could one tick above that line, that would be my entry here. That would be my entry. Now I can miss this trade. It's okay. You don't need to trade the reclaimed fair value gap. You don't need it. Where should be my stop loss? The closest order block. Here, this is my closest order block so far. So my stop loss is gonna be below that closest order block, below there. Where is my target? Partial should be 50% of that week. And no, it's too close actually. If I take the partial over here, it's too close. I think that should be the partial, at least to that area. That can be the partial area, the 1.5 standard deviation. And target is here, like the new week opening gap low, that can be the target. But still, I'm not interested to take the entry by this candle. But if this candle come here, that's gonna be my buy. If it comes, okay. So here, because now it has violated the last gap by this specific candle. So I would love to try to take this entry from that reclaimed gap now. It is valid to take that entry from this candle again. It is valid. But as I had this last fair value gap, I really didn't want to take that entry. I can miss this trade. It's okay for me. You don't need to take the entry from that reclaimed fair value gap. You are learning it. Just learning it. But as it didn't provide me the thing I was waiting for, if this candle could close one tick above that, I could go for that trade. It didn't do that. I'm not interested to take that. But as it has closed above this last gap now, above that line, I want to take that risk now from there. My stop loss is gonna be there, 8 handle 2 tick, just 8 handle 2 tick. So that was my first opportunity to go for that buy. If I wouldn't do that, tight trailing stop loss, I could get 25 handle profit over there. But because of my tight trailing stop loss, I got stopped out. It's okay. This is my second opportunity to go for the buy. If it take me actually, by the way. Please don't copy my trade, and I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm not going to give you some advice. Instead, try to learn it. Just try to learn it. Recent made buy side liquidity, this high and that high, relatively equal highs. I really wanted to see that it will tap to this gap one more time. It will tap over there, then it will go higher. But so far, I don't think so. It will take me actually. Still hoping for the best. Let's see. I'm doing good, bro. How are you? I'm fine. Bro, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, I guess you are talking to Kitan. That's cool, man. I told that I could miss this trade. It's okay for me. As I didn't get the precision here, just by one tick, I didn't take that buy. But do you understand the logic here? To take that, uh, to how to use this gap, that gap, how to use that gap, which is called the reclaimed gap. I'm going to close it because market has already taken that high, so I don't want to believe it anymore. I'd love to let it go. Yeah, precision is important. I mean, if it doesn't give me that, I'm not going to take that. Simple. No need to take that risk. It didn't provide me that. Maybe it will never touch that minus 1.5 standard deviation, though I don't want to see that. I want to see that it will tap over there, 1.5 ST. I want to see that it will tap at least to that area. But as it didn't provide me that precision over here, I'm not going to take that entry. Simple. If this candle could tap over there, after taking that high, I could put my stop loss to the break even, at least to the break even. So my loss will be mitigated. 100% I will be at the break even because market has taken that high. See, this high has been taken. So my stop loss would be to the break even and I would be risk free. But as after taking that high, now maybe market will give me another opportunity to take that buy. I'm not interested to take that buy. I mean, even if it come here. If it doesn't come here, that is different matter. But even if it come here, I'm not interested to take that on. So it came here to that minus 1.5 standard deviation. Wanna see the body close above that high, that line, because this is a very strong line that can make the reversal. The reversal can happen from that minus 1.5 standard deviation with the mean threshold of that 15-minute bearish order block. It can do that things from there. I'm just not going to, what to say, take my decision right now. Wanna see how it is going to work with that minus 1.5 standard deviation. If body close above that 1.5 standard deviation with speed, this will be my next target. If it doesn't do that and provide me any selling opportunity, I'll go for that sell now. Now I'll go for the sell because now I'm going to get the reaction from minus 1.5 standard deviation. A very simple logic here. All this thing has done its job. This reclaimed gap has done its job. I don't need it anymore. I can frame a sell now. Now, if you want to wait for something, you should wait for a 15-minute gap. I'm trying to catch the reaction from that minus 1.5 standard deviation, very specific thing. All I need, a market structure shift, fair value gap, immediate reaction. That's all I need. Until 17th of December, you're good to trade. You're good to trade. Let's see if it can take me. If it doesn't take me, it's okay. I'm just trying to catch that reaction from minus 1.5 standard deviation. Okay. I'm not trying to think that, or I'm not thinking that market is going to fall now. I'm just interested to catch that reaction, just that reaction until the next liquidity level. I believe that I covered the 50% of that week. Yeah, I covered the 50% of that week. Very tight, but still I covered that week 50%. It should work and fall for this sell side liquidity before even if it wants to go higher, it's okay. But at least it should provide me that sell side liquidity before going higher. Again, I'm just catching the reaction. It's not reversal or anything. I'm not thinking that market is going to fall, market is falling for forever. No, nothing. I'm just trying to catch the reaction from that minus 1.5 standard deviation until the liquidity. That's all. If you want to wait for like something like that, you should wait for a 15-minute bearish fair value gap. If no bearish fair value gap, no sell. No bearish fair value gap, no sell. I'll try to catch it. If it provide me, perfect. If it doesn't provide me, I'll get stopped out here. Just confirm that 50% of that week has been covered over here. Just that one. Still, I'm believing that market is bullish. Market will keep going higher. If this was the reaction, then I can get stopped out here and market can keep going higher. If it would love to go for this sell side liquidity, it should not touch the 50% of that week. So let me actually mark a line over there. It should not even touch that week 50%. That CE should not be touched. If really market would love to fall and take that sell side liquidity. Even if it touch, body should not close above that constant encroachment. But my stop loss is just above that constant encroachment because I don't want to take more risk as it is the counter trade entry. So I don't want to take more risk over here. I'm going to remove this 50% or the mean threshold of that 15-minute bullish bearish order block. Don't want to see any kind of reaction from that gap. Instead, I would love to see body will it will go through this gap. It is not going to support this gap. That's all I want to see. If it keep going higher, that is natural because market is extremely bullish. As I wanted to catch that reaction, so I took that entry. It doesn't mean that market has to fall. But my intention to catch that reaction as market left that liquidity still open over here. I wanted to catch that reaction. My stop loss just covered that constant encroachment of that specific week. That week has taken the liquidity traded the last fair value gap or any kind of fair value gap. Want to see body will close below this gap and below just this gap, okay? And it will fall at least for this sell side liquidity. Again, this is not a sell you should look for. This is just a reaction. I'm gonna catch it. I can be wrong here. That's why my stop loss is too tight. If I was confident about that sell, my stop loss would be above that week. As I wasn't confident, my stop loss covered that constant encroachment of that week. That means if it would love to fall for this sell side liquidity, it should not touch that constant encroachment. Even if it touch it, body should close at the level of this constant encroachment or below this constant encroachment. That's all I want to see. If this candle close over here, my stop loss will be just one tick above this fair value gap. Just one tick above that fair value gap. What is that gap? New reclaimed fair value gap. If it close over there, my stop loss will be above that fair value gap. So it will be here. What is that? Tight trailing stop loss. I know that it's very bad. It's a very bad habit, but I love to do it according to the price action. My stop loss is now for 4 handle 3 tick, something like that. I can't put it to the break even, as if I put it to the break even, it can come back again to trade that order block. This order block, it can be come back again to trade that order block. I can't take that risk, so I will take that small loss, just a very small loss. I'll take that loss. If you see here, okay, I could go for a partial here, could hold my trade for so long. As my bias is still bullish, I didn't take that risk. I just closed my trade here. I know it's 15 handle, nothing. I know that, but still, it's it's more than enough for me for being profitable because there is a logic to take that sell side liquidity, then reverse again. I don't want to take that risk. So I will just close my trade over that. No partial taken, then holding my trade. I will take the partial when it is going higher. Take the partial, hold my trade for so long. But when it is falling, I'll close my trade at a logical level, in a very logical level. Okay. Always know how to use that weak 50%. It's very specific. Now, again, if you ask me where is the reference, ICT where talked about this? No, sir, ICT didn't talk about this, so I can't give you the ICT reference over here. This is my observation, my knowledge, just my knowledge. I didn't learn it from anyone. This is my knowledge, my observation. So please don't judge me. If you like it, use it. If you don't like it, just throw it to the dustbin. Okay, but please don't judge me. It's my request to all of you. By the way, thank you so much for that penguin and boom, brother. Thank you so much. Look, I'm not bearish. Again, I'm not bearish. What did I catch? The reaction from a very certain level, minus 1.5 standard deviation. The reaction from there. Just try to catch that reaction from a very logical level. This fair value gap. Okay. Thank you, Sulojan, for that boom. Ravi, thank you for that boom. Boom. Thank you, Marquis. Will breaker block T2? I don't look for the breaker block over here, brother. First, the first reason is there is no perfect setup. The first reason is there is no perfect setup. So breaker block comes actually after a perfect setup. As there was no perfect setup, the real setup was here. Market take that liquidity, market structure shift, there is the fair value gap. Until price trade this fair value gap, I'm not looking for any kind of what to say, I mean the breaker block or something. Now market doesn't need to trade this fair value gap as trend is my friend. But obviously it can come here and then we can look for something. Well, that is a different matter. I mean it's a long time fact or whatever it is. But yeah, until it trade that one, because this is the origin of that buy. This is the origin. Took the liquidity, market structure shift, fair value gap. Market didn't trade this fair value gap. So whole concept of the breaker block, order block, mitigation block, rejection block, nothing is going to work over here. All of this entry was thanks to Pro because I marked it, but it was like this. I forgot about that first presented gap. All this conversation was dependent on that first presented gap, nothing else. And trend is my friend. That was the two thing only for framing all of this trade. That was a perfect buy just because of my trailing stop loss. As you can see, I got stopped out over here. That was a logical level. I should not get stopped out here, but by the way, but shit happens. Shit happens. That was the first logic to take the buy. Second opportunity was the reclaimed fair value gap. As it was not precise, I didn't go for that reclaimed fair value gap, at least until this 1.5 standard deviation portion. Took the reaction from that 1 minus 1.5 standard deviation reaction. This is something very specific. I have already talked about this a lot of time about the standard deviation. Please study them. It's not something you will watch it and you will get it. No, you have to study them. You have to use them in your chart. Then you will start to learn about them. How this simple line gave me that confidence of that liquidity. Is it random? Is it coincidence? If it is coincidence, then why it didn't trade that 50% of that week? Isn't it so precise? Did I keep showing you these things? Ask yourself. Were you afraid when market was going higher? 100% I was afraid. Why? Because market can simply trade that constant encroachment, body can close below or at the level of this constant encroachment, then it could fall. So I could be get stopped out over here prematurely. I could have, this could have happened. But my intention was market should not trade that concurrent crossman. That should happen. It is falling. Should I go for the sell? I'm not interested to look for sell until there is a 15-minute bearish fair value gap. This 1.5 standard deviation, the 50% of that bearish breaker order block from 15-minute chart can send the price little lower. So how long the the reaction is going to close, I don't know that. So when I don't know any level over here, I'm just not interested. Look, this was the obvious liquidity. Can you see this obvious liquidity? Let me show you this very specific thing. This low has taken over here by a shallow run. Was that obvious liquidity? Market went higher, worked his upper portion job. What was the job? To trade that minus 1.5 standard deviation. Not a hindsight. I marked it when market was there. When market was here, I marked that line over there. One line here, second line there. If it can close above that minus 1.5 standard deviation with a bull move, the next level is this, that line, or maybe new week opening gap low. Not a hindsight, by the way. Trade until this area, fall, took that obvious liquidity at least. See, this low has been taken now. See here, very precise thing. Obvious liquidity has been taken. So where it is going now? Is it going higher or is it going to fall? I don't know. I will wait until this parallel gap is not trade. It can keep falling for this parallel gap because this is the only unfinished business so far. That is the only unfinished business. How you are going to use this gap? Remember how you are going to use this gap. Now, it is not possible to take that entry. The reason is, for example, even if it closes below this inversion gap, I'm not able to take that entry. Why? Because if I took that entry from there, my stop loss has to cover above that high, which is 32 handle. I'm not able to take that sell until this gap. This candle is the first candle which has traded this gap. So this candle started to validate this as an inversion gap. So I'm not able to put it over there. So I'm not going to take that entry. Instead, I'm just watching. At the same time, until there is a 15-minute bearish fair value gap, no sell is valid. Just not interested to take sell because still I'm extremely bullish. Extremely bullish. Maybe that reaction sent the price until this obvious liquidity. I don't know. It has taken that obvious liquidity, trade that first presented fair value gap from, I guess, from 14th of November. My chart doesn't show me the price after that. Trade that first presented gap, then it is going higher again. Where? Is it coming here to take that high? 100% no. It needs a logical level, as I explained. Though it has traded that 50% of that bearish order block, I'm not convinced yet. I need a fair value gap. So still it's random to me. It's look like random to me. So I want to see it will either reach to this gap, which is the hourly last gap, or at least to this new week opening gap. If it can reach over here, then if it wants to reverse, I'm good to go for that. Until then, I will keep looking for buy. Every sell, I'll let them go. Is that understandable? Where did that 1.5 standard deviation came? Can you please tell? Yes, sir, I can tell it. I'm not going to hide it from you. Okay, guys, it's time to talk about a little bit about the prop firm because right now I have nothing to do. Right now I have nothing to do. If market fall, nothing to do. If market keep going higher, I have nothing to do. Until there is some kind of bull move, I have nothing to do. Or a bear gap, I have nothing to do. From 15-minute chart, as you can see, it has traded that 15. I'm going to remove this gap, okay? Sorry. It didn't trade any kind of fair value gap over here. So next fair value gap is this low, this candle low, that candle high. There is a bearish fair value gap. Or did it trade actually? No, it didn't. Okay, so until it didn't tap to this gap, I really don't want to see that market will keep going higher. I mean, I don't want to see, but it can happen as well. I mean, it's okay. So let's wait for the next opportunity. I don't see any opportunity right now to trade. So we'll talk about a little bit about the prop firm because some of you ask me. Guys, if you ask me some question, it's not going to help you. Instead of that, you guys can continue the conversation to the main room in our Discord because there are a lot of experts. They're 1,000 times better than me. Okay, so if you give me the message, sometimes I'm busy and I'm not able to see your message. So I'm not saying don't message me. I'm just saying if you have any inquiry, you can just give the message to the main room. Okay. Sometimes I miss your message. That's what I'm saying. First of all, Apex has 90% discount. So any kind of number is going to provide you the 90 I mean any kind of account size is going to give you the 90% discount. If you use the code T2 Wizard, then you'll be able to get that 90% discount. If you can pass it, you have to pay $125 for as an activation, okay, lifetime fee or something like that, I guess. If I'm wrong, just correct me to the comment box. Apex is better because you will be able to copy trade with 20 accounts, and if you want to be profitable from trading, you need more account than one account. More account, every like 20 account, if you can make $200 per account, it's gonna make $4,000 in a day, and $200 making is nothing, just nothing. Anytime you can make it. We do something wrong because we are trading through one account and we wanna make $1,000 from that one account, and that is different and that is difficult actually. So that's why we should not go for that. Instead, we should think about more account instead of the one account to grow it. It's my opinion. Again, if you would love to choose any prop firm, do your own research. Make sure that you know everything about that prop firm and then go for that. If you'd love to choose Apex, which is obviously a renownable prop firm, don't forget to use the code T2 Wizard to get that 20%, sorry, 90% discount. This offer is valid for tomorrow until tomorrow. So tomorrow around 1:59 p.m. Eastern time, it's gonna be invalidated. So make sure that you have used that code before the time is gone. Okay. I'm watching the market as well. So when I'm talking about them, I'm watching with the price action as well. So if I find out something good, so far I'm seeing that it has traded that gap from 15-minute chart. I'm going to remove this standard deviation. A lot of lines I don't like it. So all of them I'm going to remove. Right now I'm seeing that 15-minute bullish gap which has been traded already here. Can it hold the price? Send it higher again. That's my intention to see. This one, okay. The lower one, and let me actually mark it as a 15-minute bullish parallel gap. So can it hold the price and send it higher, or does it want to trade that unfinished business? Does it want to come over here? In the meantime, let me mark that one here, and let me remove this first presented gap because it has done its job. This candle has made it a perfect inversion gap. The problem is I can't go for the sell. First of all, my bias is not sell, so I'm not interested to look for sell. This is the first thing I should go, and second thing is this is the second candle high which is made this gap as a perfect inversion gap. Yeah, 100% I can put it over there as well, which is absolutely risky, but still I can go for that if I want to force the market until this area. This is only valid if I'm looking for sell. I'm not looking for sell. My bias is not sell. Remember that. I'm not looking for sell. So I'm not interested to use this gap as my inversion gap. This is just for our observation. We just kept made it like this way. Okay. Again, my bias is not sell. I'm not interested to look for sell. This is not the inversion gap where I will look for sell. Instead, I will start to look for buy from any kind of opportunity from there. So if I get any kind of opportunity to take the buy, I'll go for that. But I'm not interested to look for sell because I don't know if market keep falling, how far it will fall. Is this 15-minute bullish parabolic gap holding the price, or market is going through this 15-minute bullish parabolic gap coming to this unfinished business? I don't know. So when I don't know that, I'm not going to take the sell. I'm only interested to take the buy. Okay. And by the way, maybe it will hit the stop loss. I don't know. So let's see if we can provide the market structure sheet or not. I don't need to trade anymore. I am already profitable. I don't need to trade anymore. If this candle can provide me the market structure sheet, this is going to be my inversion. Sorry, let me remove this gap. This is gonna be my entry favorable gap. This is gonna be my last favorable gap. I got the market structure sheet. Now, what I would look for, if it can come back again to this gap within 3 candle, that's gonna be my buy again from there. Where is going to be my stop loss? I should cover at least the breakaway gap. If it is possible to cover that low that has made that bearish, that last parallel gap, that is the best case of scenario. As it is more than 22 handle, I'm not interested to do that. Instead, I would love to put it over here around this area, like around here. Okay, so that is gonna be my buy. I'm not going to take this buy because I'm not interested to trade right now. I am interested to observe the market right now instead of taking the entries. Just observing it, I'm feeling it. Feeling the trade and taking the trade is different. Here is time to feel the market because I don't know this is gonna hold the market or does it want to come for this unfinished business. So I will miss that trade. Even if it works, I'll miss that trade. There is one other reason. I don't have the buy side liquidity. Until here, I had the buy side liquidity. I had a logical level. This minus 1.5 standard deviation. I could go for them. Right now, I don't have the liquidity over there. So and either way, I'm not interested to take the buy. If any of you would love to take the buy or sell, it's up to you. You can go for that. I'm not interested to do anything over here. I'm just observing this market, feeling this market. If I get something cool, yes, I'll go for that trade. If I don't get it, I'm not going to take it. Simple. Okay. So everything I will do, I'll just observe. When I'll feel confident, I'll push my button. I hope that it is clear to all of you. So I was talking about that Apex. So if anyone is interested to use that code T2 wizard, I'll be grateful to all of you. You don't need to do it, but if you do it, perfect. Wanna talk about this my funded future because some of you actually give me the message that they has provided. I'll go for the 50k account actually, not the 100k account, 50k account. Expert account has 25% discount. This account has 25% discount. Starter plus. Starter is still $80. So if you get that 25%, that means if you use the code T2 wizard, you will get that 25% discount and it's gonna be $90. Okay, $90. This is $80. This is $90. And what is going to be here for the expert? Just 165 minus 25%. You will get your point. Now, what is the differences between all of this? Now, I don't want to talk about this milestone. This is a little different. I really don't support it. In my opinion, I don't support it. But this expert, it is good. Why is that? Here, the profit target is 4,000, which is bigger than 3,000 profit target. 50k account, okay? Remember, all of these are 50k account. 3,000 is the profit target. 4,000 is profit target for the expert. Maximum position 5 contracts, which is useless to me because here 3 contract, here 5 contract. Either way, I'm not able to go more than 1 contract. So it's useless to me. I don't care about that. Daily loss limit 0. It's a good thing that you have no daily loss limit. So you have an opportunity to trade until 2k. If you get that 2k loss, then you are going to lose this account, where this starter account has the daily maximum loss limit, which is actually $1,200. Good thing is you have the point until $2,500. That is the maximum. Here the maximum is $2,000. So 4,000 is target, 2,000 is the drawdown. Now I really don't get any pressure over here in this eval, because either way you can do gamble, you can do whatever you want to do with precision, with discipline trade. I don't know what you are going to do. Just pass it. I don't know how, but just pass it. When you will pass it, then is the problem come here. Reset fee is $165. I guess if you use the code, you will get some discount. I don't know. Maybe you will get. I don't know. Okay. Scaling rules, none. This is not important to me as well, because I'm not going to increase my contract size. It's gonna be one contract for forever. Micro scaling, same thing. Micro scaling in funded, same thing. I don't care about them, because either way my maximum lot size is 1 mini or 10 micro. Consistency rules is none. This is the best thing for me. Okay. No consistency rules. That means if I make one day $1,500, another day $2,000, another day $200, I don't need to think about the consistency rules. It's the great option for me, because consistency rules is something that actually, eat your head. Okay, I don't know about you, but for me it hit my, it's my head. I am really so much worried about that consistency rules. I don't get it perfectly, and I don't support it at all. Eval consistency rules is also not valid. So this is the best thing I find out in expert plan. So if you get 25% discount, how much it will be? Anybody can tell me how much it will be if I just minus 25% from that $165? I'll just spend little time over here, because some of you asked me. So whatever I understand, I'll talk about them, and then I'll go back to this price action. And as I can see that it is working actually perfectly, though it has traded this last gap, nobody closed below the 50% of that gap. It is going higher. Obviously my target is not here. The first target is above that high. This is the first target. It should reach above that high. Then we'll see if it can reach until this new opening gap or not. I'm not interested to trade right now. Instead, I would love to wait for 15-minute candle close above, at least above that candle. Then I will use this candle as my order block and start to find a buying opportunity from that order block. Okay, so I'll start to think like that way. Right now, it's time to observe the market, how it is going to react. This 15-minute bullish parallel gap hold the price. Can the candle close above that high? If it can close above that high, this is gonna be my order block. It will tap to this order block. I'll be in 1 minute chart, start to look for my buying opportunity until this new opening gap low or minus 2.5 standard deviation. Okay, so this is how I'm gonna observe this market. Not interested to trade at all over here. If you are interested to trade, please go for that. I'm just not interested. Okay, somebody please let me know how much it will be like after minus 225 standard deviation, 25% off. Please let me know that. Same thing, no scaling is needed, no activation fees. That means if you can pass it, you don't need to pay any activation fees. No consistency rules for both challenge and sim funded account. Consistency rules is the most important thing in my opinion, and that is kind of a limit. So $123. Okay, that's logical, I guess. In this, for this it's logical. $123. If you compare it with the top step, you have to pay $198 for the funded account, for until the funded account. So in my opinion, that is logical, I guess. $125, $3, $24. It's much more cheaper. So cheap in my opinion. No minimum evaluation days. That means if it takes like long time, not like within 1 or 2 day or within 3 day you have to finish, you have to wait. No, if you can go for the 1 day, just go for that 1 day, just complete it. That is also cool, because for eval I love to do the gamble. Okay, I don't want to do the something like discipline thing or something. I don't like it. Payout every 14 calendar days, little bad, but still, after getting like some amount of money, if you stop trading, the school after 14 calendar days you'll get your payout, I guess. Okay, extra max drawdown 50K account size. Max, they will just extra make it extra drawdown. 24/7 customer setup. Okay, this is all about the expert things. I love, the only thing is no consistency. That is the only thing I love more than everything else. Here is the starter account, and all of you know how to what is over there. Okay, I don't think so that we need to talk about this starter. Starter plus is little different of that starter. So there is a differentiate of $10. So you will get it by $80. If you use the code T2 wizard, you will get $90 that account. No activation fees. That $90 is all you have to pay. No activation fees, nothing. But you have to use that code T2 wizard. Profit target is 3,000, same 3,000. Contract size, I don't care. Loss limit is 0. Over here your daily loss limit is $1,200. That means you don't have the daily loss limit, but your maximum loss limit is $2,000. Over here you have 2,500 daily max, max drawdown. I also don't need to worry about this 2,500 and $2,000, because if you stop after a certain period of time or certain loss, maybe it's not gonna affect your trading either way. Okay, so it's not a big deal for me. End of the day drawdown, everything is okay. Activation fees none, nothing. No activation fees, so all you have to pay $90. By the way, it's valid until tomorrow, by the way, so far I remember. Okay, scaling rules, you have the scaling rules here. I don't care about that scaling rules, because it's all about like increasing the contract size, which I'm not going to increase. It's gonna be fixed, 1 mini or 10 micro. Micro scaling, micro scaling in funded, whatever it is, these three I'm not going to worry about, because it should be fixed, 1 mini contract or 10 micro contract. Okay, consistency rules, none. I love it. Where for 80K account, sorry, $80 account, you have the consistency rules, which is 40%. Just 40%. If you make 40%, then you have to trade more, or you have to target more, or something like that. This thing I don't like. Which here, just for $10 difference, $80, $90. Just for $10 difference, you are not going to get that consistency rules. I love it. But here is a problem of the eval. You have the consistency for the eval. Okay, so you can't make more than 50%. That means you have to pass the eval by 2 days. Just this is the differences. So 3,000 is your target. You should make 1,500 today, 1,500 tomorrow. That's all you have to make. Like, you have to just spend 2 days. And in my opinion, it's not bad, because all I care about the funded account, not the eval account. So in my opinion, here eval you don't have the rule, but where eval is like no value to me, I have the value for the funded account. So funded, no consistency rules. In my opinion, right now, this starter plus is the best opportunity or best option for choosing, though it's $10 expensive than the starter account. Just $10 expensive. No activation fees, nothing. Okay, so make sure that you guys got that point, and whoever asked me the guys actually asked me the question, I hope that, brother, it is clear to all of you. Okay, and the same thing for the 100K account, but the amount is different. Okay, 150K account, the amount is different. You can see the amount is little different. It's all about like your choice, which account you're comfortable to trade. It's up to you, but I just give you the example from 50K account. Okay, so is there anyone has any question over here? If you have the question, just let me know. By the way, same thing in Tradeovate, I'm sorry, Take Profit Trader, we have 40% discount right now is going on. No activation fees. Just make sure that you have used the code T2 Wizard. At the same time, I would love to ask you one more thing. You guys love to the direct funding, because Tradify and the Tick have that affiliate. But if you guys are interested, then I will post them. Okay, because of fast track trading, when they are gone, it's all the risky business, guys. So you have to consider that any prop firm can be gone anytime. But if you are interested about that sim funded account, that means you don't need to pass any kind of eval or challenge. Instead, you are going to get the funded account directly. Tradify and TickTick, they're like little longer time they are staying here, so I believe that they are much better comparing with FTT or something. I think they're risk free, I think. Okay, but yeah, obviously we'll do your own research. If you're interested, then I can share the discount things or the link. Just let me know, guys. Can you link this account with TradingView? Yes, sir. You can link it with the TradingView. You can see here. It's the trade of it. What is here? See this platforms we work with TradingView. See, so if you choose the trade of it here, trade of it, you'll be able to trade through TradingView. Both Apex, yeah, I think yeah, both Apex, Take Profit Trader, My Funded Futures, you'll be able to do that. So you can actually connect them and you can trade through the TradingView. If you choose the trade of it here, then you will be able to trade them. This candle didn't close above that candle. Yeah, so I can't use this as my order block, so I have to let this price go and I have to sacrifice this trade. Yeah, this trade can be like logical to you, but if you are able to take that 16 handle or maybe little more 18 handle loss, if you can take that, maybe you will be able to go for that trade. Maybe, I don't know, but I'm not interested to go for that trade, which is our well-known setup. Everything was perfect, but just because I wasn't confident enough that market is going to reverse from that 15-minute bullish parallel gap, I didn't take that entry. Otherwise, it was a very nice trade, by the way. Okay, you don't need to hold your trade until this area or until this area. Until this area, you can see it's near about 40 handle. You have to take some partial even before that level. So as you can see, if you take a partial here around this rejection block, okay, so let me actually mark it, that rejection block, or maybe the last gap here, this is the last gap. Anywhere you want to choose any of this area, still that is like 20 handle plus, which is more than enough for being profitable. After taking that partial, you can put a stop loss to the break even, and then maybe you can hold your trade until this turner or until this area, anywhere you want to do. Because I don't like the runner, I always try to take the partial and then try to put my stop loss to the break even, so that it gonna be the risk free. Whenever this candle closed, that candle closed above that candle, see this candle, my stop loss would be just below that candle, because this is now a valid order block. That's gonna be the valid order block here, that candle. So which is also the unfinished business. Market can come back again to trade this order block here. That order block can be traded, so market can come back again to trade that order block before expanding higher again. I wanted to catch that move, like tap to this order block, then it will start to go higher. I would love to catch that move if this candle could close above that candle. Then this gonna be my 15-minute order block. Right now it's not a valid order block, so I'm not able to look for buy again. So I will let this go. I'm not going to catch anything over here. From 1 minute chart, if you look that high and that high, here this high and that high, what do you see over there? Another buy side liquidity. Can you see this high and that high, another buy side liquidity? So if it fall here, at the same time my high time frame supported me, I could frame another buying opportunity, because I would have this buy side liquidity over there. Though I have this standard deviation, sorry, that high actually just at that in standard deviation and the logical level over here, new week opening gap and our last parabolic gap. So until this area, I will keep looking for buy. When market was falling, what did I say? I'm not interested to look for sell. I don't know how far it will fall, but I'm not interested to look for frame any sell setup. I went for that sell only to catch that minus 1.5 standard deviation reaction, just because of that. But I'm only interested to look for buy, just the buying opportunity is my only opportunity, so I will go for that. Anybody has any confusion? Again, before going higher, it can come back again to trade this order block, because that is the unfinished business. So it can come back again to trade this order block. No trade is valid for me after 11:30. 11:30 is the last line for me to trade in a specific morning session. That is the last line to trade. If any of you think that 18 handle, to be honest, your stop loss has to be minimum 18 handle. If you think that it's worthy to take that risk, then you can obviously go for that trade. I am not going to stop you. but in my opinion it's not worth the war. I don't know this 15-minute bullish parallel gap is going to hold the price or market is falling for that unfinished business, which is the origin setup, the real last gap below this relatively equal lows, the last gap. I didn't know that market will fall here or it will reverse from there. So I'm not interested to go for that trade. I'm saying you everything. My bias was bullish, my everything was bullish. It was a logical level. See this 15-minute bullish parallel gap, very specific, very nice market structure shift. Everything is perfect. Traded that 1 minute last parallel gap here, a very perfect way. Trade that 1 minute last parallel gap, market structure shift, immediate reaction to the entry gap, breakaway gap, at least until the last gap or something, it reached until that area. So which is actually your opportunity to take the partial, put a stop loss to the, it's more than enough for being profitable. But still, I'm not confident enough to take that buy. I'll just observe this market. I'm showing you everything, I'm saying you everything. Clearly, everything, nothing is hindsight, live market. If you watch at the beginning of this stream, what is going to happen? Did I tell that? How many times I have repeated this? How many times? Can anyone tell me that? How many times I repeated it? I don't want to see accumulation. I want to see expansion. How many times did I repeat that? So that you guys don't forget and later don't think that it was hindsight or this guy is, after seeing this, he was telling this. No, it was very specific. Guys, don't forget to push the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Let me check how many people actually. Okay, 67% people are bullish, 21% people are bearish, accumulation is 12%. Okay, so I got 172 votes. Most of the people are bullish. I'm with you guys who are thinking about the bullish. I'm with you. I mean, already the morning session is gone, so I was bullish the whole morning session, so I wanted to go for the buy only. That was my first buying opportunity, which has provided me the first partial perfectly from this gap. But because of my trailing stop loss, you can see just by this candle I got a stop, and then market boom gave me that 26 handle partial over there. Took that reaction, that buy, not interested to take. So overall, this thing is done. Thank you so much, guys, for that, for participating to that poll. I can say I got just 81 likes. I just need some more likes, guys, please. Okay, make sure that 140 people are watching. I know it's not a big number, but still, at least make it 100 likes. Okay, and if anyone is interested to join with us, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Still, it didn't tap to this order block. As I told, before going higher, it can fall for this order block before going higher. So it is unfinished business. So let's see if it can tap to this order block before going higher. Hey Mosh, how are you, brother? I didn't see your comment, brother, by the way. So sorry for that. By the way, anybody is new here today? I mean, this is your first day with us. Anybody? Just the first day. You never been here. Now it has traded that order block. It's time to see if it can reverse now. I'd love to see the reversal now. Again, I'm not interested to look for sell. Pro, you are new, brother. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much, brother. By the way, question. Yes, Jamie, please go for that. Can you show market, where you marked the STC from, please? I'm new. What is STC? You are new the school, but what is STC? Outlander. 1 month candle 940 958 is sell side liquidity. 1 minute candle 948 958 948 958. 1 minute candle 948 958. Yeah, that is the sell side liquidity. Now it's not a perfect swing low, but it's just a low. Because this is unfinished business, you can just make it as a liquidity. This low as a liquidity. It's not a swing low, remember. If you look guys, this low and that low, they are relatively equal lows, clearly. Now you wanna need the perfect thing. No, it's not a perfect swing low like this swing low. You don't want to mark it, it's okay. This swing low, just this low is liquidity. This low is liquidity. I don't like to believe it. That's why I need two lows. As I'm thinking, this is an unfinished business. The origin gap, the origin setup gap. This is the first time market has made this situation for the bullish movement. This is the first time. This is the first gap. Even there was no entry gap. So just one gap that should be traded. Market didn't trade this gap. What does it mean? It's unfinished business. As I'm thinking that market will come here and I can see there is too low, relatively equal. So I'm gonna mark them. I know that basically market is coming here. I don't need to mark them. But as I got this, I'm adding more confluences over here that it is not only coming for here, it is also coming for that relatively equal lows. Do you get that point, brother? Hey, Ninad. Look, where did it came? To finish some unfinished business. See? It came here to finish some unfinished business. What is the next line? See this buy side liquidity? This high and that high, relatively equal highs. I want to see an unfilled gap over here around this area. What else can happen? It can trade this candle, which is the propulsion block. Trade that propulsion block, then can make the unfilled gap. But I want to see this gap will be unfilled. I want to see that. But look over here, where did it came exactly? Why it came here? Because that was unfinished business. See this unfinished business? Do you understand the logic why it was falling over there? Anybody? Absolutely, you can do it, Sharada. Thank you, GN. By the way, I was asking if anyone is new for the first time, you came here. You don't need to be subscriber to comment because it's anyone can comment something like that. I just made it intentionally today. So anybody can comment over here. So if any of you are new, this is your first time over here, just let me know. I'm gonna close the session within 1 or 2 minutes. Just before closing, let me know if any of you are new. Otherwise, I'll think that all of you are actually my subscriber. Okay, money is new. Yeah, absolutely, Gupta. It exactly came to this order block, something very specific. Now, I love to mark the open if it trade that open. It's my problem. You don't need to do that. But I love to mark the open if it can trade that open. I just marked love that. When it trade that open, that candle has traded that order block. This is that propulsion block. Again, I would love to mark the open of that propulsion block as it has traded that propulsion block. Look, very specific thing. What I want to see now, consequences is telling me now I need an unfilled gap. If I get an unfilled gap, that means it should make a gap that will be unfilled. That is telling me that market is going to take that high. Not only this buy side liquidity, but also that high. If it can make an unfilled gap over here. If it doesn't make that unfilled gap, maybe market will close. I mean, it will take that liquidity, then it will start to do some kind of accumulation or something like that. It can do that if it doesn't make an unfilled gap right now. Now, what is the importance of knowing that? The importance is coming here from 15-minute chart. If this candle could close one tick above that candle, then this could be my order block. See this candle? This could be my order block. Now, according to ICT's 2024 mentorship, when this candle close above that opening, it is valid as an order block. I don't want to see like that way. I would love to keep using the previous logic that until it is not closing above that candle, it's not my order block. If it could close above that candle, when it came here again to trade that order block from the lower time frame, I would take my buy from that propulsion block, not from the order block, from that propulsion block. When this candle tapped over there, I would take that buy from that propulsion block. Stop loss would cover that order block, just that order block. I would go for that buy side liquidity. That could be my entry. If and only if this candle could close one tick just above that high, I would go for that buy from that propulsion block until that buy side liquidity, or maybe I'll take the partial and then I'll hold my trade. It's a different matter. Until this area, I would go for that trade over here. Again, not from that order block, from propulsion block. I mean, sorry, not from that order block, from propulsion block. Sharada, please do it by yourself. I mean, I don't know whom I will ask for that. Still, these guys are very boring to me because I ask them a lot of things. So please try to ask someone to record it for you. Okay. I want you to make some friend. Let's see if it can make this gap. I don't know it is going to make a gap here or not. If it can make a gap here, that's gonna be my unfilled gap. If it can make a gap here. Now I will just mark the gap if it can make. Until it is not making a gap, I'm not marking that gap. Okay, simple. Just don't give me any responsibility, brother. Please tell someone to the Discord, obviously not here, to record it for you. Now, some of you maybe just join here and they are thinking that I took that buy. No, sir, I didn't go for that buy. I just explained how I would go for that buy. Though it is working the way I'm expecting it will work, still I'm not able to take that buy just because of this thing here. Just because of this, I'm not able to take this buy because it can crash. I don't want to take that risk. Okay, just because of that I didn't take that buy because it didn't provide me what I was looking for here. Just because of that I am not interested to go for that buy. This is for those who actually join me later. At the same time, when I was asking about that sim funded, I really don't know anybody tell anything or not. But Tamimi, please make sure that if anyone is interested, then we are going to provide that tick tick sim funded account and the Tradify sim funded account. Just remember, what did I say? If it can make an unfilled gap, market is going to take that high. If it doesn't make that unfilled gap, it can do all of these things like this way. This thing can happen, okay, if it doesn't make that unfilled gap. But if it make the unfilled gap, that is called consequences. Now, I'm not rebranding anything, I'm just telling you what should happen in this market, one after another, one after another. The perfect setup, this is the perfect setup, something like here, that was the first time perfect setup. This is the next time market has made the perfect setup here, okay. Market structure sheet, fair value gap, trade that order block, propulsion block, everything has been traded. All I need an unfilled gap. If I find that unfilled gap, market is going to take that high. Let me mark that high. It has taken that high. Okay, so I'm going to just mark another line here. It is going for that high. If it can leave this gap open like that way, how do I know that? That it has leave that gap open, unfilled. The next candle, the candle is going to make that unfilled gap. The next candle, okay, after closing this candle, the next candle, if it leave that gap open, then the third candle close this gap, I don't care. The very next candle leave that gap open, market is going to take that high. I'm 100% sure. No, not 100%, I'm sorry. Take this candle. If this candle leave that open, market is going to take that line. That's, I mean, pretty much sure, okay, not 100%, pretty much sure. If the next candle, okay, it has already taken, so I have nothing to say anymore. But as you can see, unfilled gap, when it leave it, took that high. This is something called consequences. It is very specific. Now some people actually talked about that there is nothing called algorithm, there is nothing called precision. Can you see it? No, I was not able to take that entry just because I didn't get that confirmation. See this confirmation, I just didn't get it. And again, according to ICT, it is valid as a order block when market close above that opening. I don't want to use it, I would love to use it if it can close above that one. I just didn't get it, I didn't use it. Is market bearish? What did I say? If you would love to look for a bearishness, you have to wait for a 15-minute bearish fair value gap. Was there any 15-minute bearish fair value gap? No, sir. So what should you look for? Only the buy. First buying opportunity here, which I'm not interested to take. Second opportunity from that propulsion block here. Maybe partial will be above this line and target will be this high. Or maybe until this 2.5 standard deviation. All I care how market is going to close above that minus 1.5 standard deviation. Remember here, what did I say? I want to see this type of candle close and a fair value gap around this minus 1.5 standard deviation. That is gonna give me the confidence that market is going for that minus 2.5 standard deviation. Very specific line. Look at the reaction from that line. Minus 1.5 standard deviation line. Look at the reaction. Now when it went through this line, how did it went through that line? You have to observe them. Okay, to be honest, you have to observe them. Now I didn't take that entry. Why is that? I already explained that. It doesn't need to reach for that minus 2.5 standard deviation. It can react from that new week opening gap low, because that is much more stronger comparing with everything. This is the extreme line, new week opening gap low. So it doesn't need to reach minus 2.5 standard deviation to complete the precision, but it has to reach to the low of that new week opening gap. Though I want to see it will go for at least to this line, at least until this area. I want to see that. This is my expectation. But it doesn't need to reach until this area, and you don't need to hold your trade until that area. This is more than enough for being profitable. More than enough. I will take little more risk until that minus 2.5 standard deviation by trailing stop loss to first. But how did it went through this minus 1.5 standard deviation? That is the area you will look for. And you will look for this thing. This very specific thing. Not a hindsight. I was keep talking about them. Very specific thing. I was keep talking about this unfinished business when market was there. Here. Not when it was falling, no, when it was there, not exactly there. When I saw this candle, I told that there was an unfinished business. Market can come back again to finish that unfinished business. everything is was in line. Okay, so don't get confused. I believe that you got something. Hello, hello. I'm going to remove this one actually. Hello, can you see? Not only new week opening up low, but can you see where it tapped? Still, people don't believe in algorithm. Next line is to the low of this gap. This is my last line for that bullish market. This all I have talked about before even starting this market around 9 a.m. New York local time. I talked that I want to see this. I clearly repeated not accumulation but expansion. Expansion, expansion, expansion. I clearly announced that. Did you get it? Market is my friend, trend is my friend. Brother, it's Monday, accumulation, but you have to know something, and I will talk about them around the PM session. Like, thank you guys for being here. If anyone has any confusion, just let me know. Otherwise, I'm gonna close my session because I believe that I have already provided you a lot of things what you needed to know. It's more than enough for one specific day, and I believe that this session is gonna be fulfilled when I'll explain the expansion around the PM session Discord live. Just one thing I kept secret because of some Discord member. Okay, I need some more Discord member. I'm sorry, man. Can I expect reaction for no? Minus 2.5 standard deviation, you should not react. I mean, expect the reaction from there. You should expect that minus 2.5 standard deviation should be broken because market is bullish. Minus 1.5 standard deviation, you should expect the reaction. Remember, minus 1.5 standard deviation is the extremely strong deviation level. If you go body to body, then minus 1.5 standard deviation. If you go week to week, then it's gonna be minus 1 standard deviation. Okay. So here, if I go body to body, not week to week. Sorry, not what week to week. It's instead body to body. See this minus 1 standard deviation. It is extremely important. Minus 1 standard deviation. Minus 2 is what is minus 2? I don't know what is minus 2. But whatever is the minus 2 standard deviation, that is the next important level, the minus 2 standard deviation. If you go week to week, I don't like to go week to week. I love to go body to body. If it market is not already went through the minus 3 standard deviation, which is over here, minus 3 standard deviation, if it doesn't go through that minus 3 standard deviation, then I want to see body to body instead of week to week. Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm done for today. I hope to be online for the PM session. Thank you, Tito. You're most welcome. Thank you. Noted 1050 candle valid inversion fair look up 1050 candle 1050 1050 1050 1050. This one, if you are asking this one, you know the reply, brother. You know the reply. I don't need to provide you the reply. You know the reply. Last week, I clearly confirmed the inversion gap. Clearly. Okay, there was no confusion, nothing. Clearly, I explained the inversion gap. What was my bias today? First, I will, guys, give me, okay, if I continue like just 10 more minutes, are you going to get, are you complaining? I want to stay more, just 10 minutes, maximum 10 minutes. I wanna spend little more time. Okay, are you going to complain? Just let me know that first. Then I'll go. Otherwise, I'm just going to close the session. I'm okay with both of them. Can I continue for 10 more minutes? Please let me know. Just need to finish this inversion because I have already finished it. But right now I wanna just make an end line for the inversion gap. I just need some of your uh, comment. Okay, I just need some of your comment. Can I spend a little more 10 minutes? Yes, should I continue? Please teach. Okay, thank you. Last week I told I that this inversion gap is gonna be finished for today. For the inversion gap, first you need to know your bias, what you are looking for. Now, can anyone tell me what I was looking for today? I will go by this way. I'm so sorry for that. I will keep asking you the question as after 11:30 I'm not interested to trade anymore. 1 minute after 11:30 I'm not interested to trade anymore. So just let me know. Can anyone tell me what I'm looking for? Longs. Yeah, SK. Thank you for confirming that. I'm looking for longs. So when it has made this as an inversion fair value gap, what did I say? My bias is not bearish. Maybe it can fall for this gap. I'm not interested to take sell from that inversion bearish gap. I'm not interested to take sell from there because my bias is still bullish. I am bullish. Market fall here, trade that gap, then came to a certain level, 15-minute bullish fair value gap. Forget about everything. Okay, I'm just talking about taking a risk. Just maybe you don't know that it is coming for this gap, or maybe you didn't notice that. So it is a logical level. 100% it's a logical level because this 15-minute bullish fair value gap. It came exactly to this 15-minute bullish fair value gap. Did it take any kind of liquidity? Any swing low has been taken? I can see it has taken a swing low, which is a perfect sell side liquidity. By the way, Gupta, he's really good in inversion gap, even better than me. Okay, I have no shame to say that he's better than me because I didn't notice this inversion gap, to be honest. But according to our rules, I've already explained how you will look for the inverse gap. This swing low, the lowest fair value gap. Again, if you go for the premium and discount, I guess until this high, I don't know, maybe until this high. This is the gap which is below the 50% of that area, or maybe if you just use this area, it is at the level of the 50%. Still, this is the 50%. Okay, market didn't reach until the premium or discount or something. That means this gap is not valid, or this price reach until the discount, not in the premium. You don't need it. I'm just making it completely clear to you why this is gonna be the inversion gap. First, my bias is bullish, so I will only look for buy. Then I need a end line. What is that? 15-minute bullish fair value gap. That is the end line of that fall. Then I got a fair value gap, the lowest fair value gap. As I'm looking for a bullish inversion gap, I need to look for the lowest gap. Which leg? This leg or that leg? 100% this leg. Because market trade that fair value gap, then took the liquidity. It never take the liquidity again. Right? It never take the liquidity again. As it has taken the liquidity, so I would love to look for that liquidity leg, the lowest line or lowest gap. Price trade that gap, took that liquidity. Which candle validate this inversion gap? Validate. Look at that candle. This specific candle, when it has closed above this gap, this is my inverse gap. Validate this gap as my inversed gap. This candle tapped to this gap. I would love to take the buy from there. Forget about everything else. I'm talking about the inversion gap. Very specific thing. Where should be my stop loss and what I should expect? Nobody is going to close below the 50% of that inverse gap. Nobody should close, again, nobody should close below the 50% of that gap. That should be your expectation. Sometimes shit happens. I mean, sometimes the fake breakout can happen one time, but it's okay. Where is going to be my stop loss? The candle has validated this gap as an inverse gap. just one tick below that candle, just one tick below that candle, which candle has validated this gap as an inverse gap over here. Now target maybe until this area. Okay? Let it until this area. Market trade until this area, come back again, trade the 50% again, went little lower, which I don't want to see. This I don't want to see. That market went little lower of that consequent crossman. I don't want to see that. This time market didn't trade the 50%. It's okay. Wick did the damage. Sometimes it did the damage. That's why my stop loss is below the candle, which has made this inversion gap valid. Just one tick below that candle, because this wick can reach until the low of that candle, which has made this gap. How do I know that? I have observed this market like this way. Sometimes I get stopped out when I put my stop loss just below that inverse gap. Just below that inverse gap, that wick did the damage, and then it has provided me the run I was expecting. It has already provided me that. So what I have decided, most of the time market doesn't reach until the low of that candle which has made this gap. Now what else can happen? Maybe 3 4 5 candle has made that gap as an inverse gap. In that type of situation, you have to put the all below that candle. Remember this inverse gap. How did I say? You have to put your stop loss below that candle. Even if you took that sell from that inverse gap, your stop loss has to be at least, what was that, not there, here, at least above that candle which has made this gap as an inverse gap, at least over there. So same thing like here, this candle has made this gap as an inverse gap by one candle. It doesn't need to take 2 candle or 3 candles. So I have the opportunity to put my stop loss over there. Target, it's up to you. Again, I'm not interested to talk about the target, but you will go for that. I'm just only interested to show you how to use the inverse gap. Isn't it very precise? Isn't it very easy to mark? Isn't it very clean? Isn't it very, I mean, not like sometimes I'm going to mark this one as my inverse gap. Sometimes I'm going to mark this one as my inverse gap. Sometimes I'm going to mark this one as my inverse gap, or this one is my inverse gap, or something. I'm showing you very specific, not random, very specific and very easy to mark. Isn't it that much cool? Let me know. I wanna know the reply. This reply, isn't it too clean? Isn't it too obvious? Isn't it too easy to mark? Isn't it random? Isn't it changing the word every time? Or it is something like very specific, easy to mark, easy everything, brother. I'm not doing anything very difficult. I'm not doing. All you need to know is market reverse, I mean bullish or bearish. That's all you need to know. I wasn't bearish, so I didn't use this as my inverse gap because my bias was not bearish. I was bullish, I will use this as my inverse gap. 22 YT model, forget about that. Order block, unfinished business, forget about that. Forget about everything. Just focus on the inverse. So you don't know anything, no other model, breaker block, mitigation block, 22 YT model, market maker X model, optimal trade entry, nothing. You know nothing. All you need to focus on the inverse gap. How are you going to use that inverse gap? This is the way. And isn't it too plain to see? Man, what else I can do for you, man? You seem to understand much about Enigma. I don't understand the Enigma. Andre, I'm just trying to learn, brother. For how long are you trading ICT? I'm not trading ICT from 2019, but I know nothing about this. I'm just learning, like you guys. I mean, I believe that you guys are also learning, so I'm also trying to learn it. So I know nothing. All I know how to read the price by questioning the. I mean, if you watch my last week stream, you will understand why this is called the inverse gap. Exactly word by word, I went through and then I explain why it is called inverse gap. If you ask the question same way I'm asking, you will get much more precision comparing with me, and you will be better than lot of people. Okay, I'm nothing, but you will better than a lot of other people. I'm just simply nothing. And to be honest, I know nothing about the enigma or something. Don't think like that way. I'm just a natural guy, a common guy like you guys. I'm just trying to explain this price action not as an hindsight but as a live market. Okay, that's all I'm trying to do over here. So try to take the notes, try to observe them, use that inverse gap. At the same time, if you are with me in our Discord and if you are interested about this inverse, you guys keep continue showing the inverse gap. And Gupta, he's really good. I'm saying that. Okay, it's not because he is like my moderator or he is with me for so long. No, I don't do that. You know, I'm saying. He is better than me. Do you understand what I'm saying? He is better than me. So you have to understand that if you any of you are good or better than me, I'll simply tell that to you that you are better than me. I have no shame to say that. Just you have to make sure that you are getting the point. That's all. If you need any help, you guys can do some conversation with that guy Gupta. I believe that both of you will be profitable and I will be profitable as well or beneficial by your conversation. That's all, brother. Oh, what was that question? I wanted to finish it, but yeah, Wizard did everything for us already. Now the only thing left is for us to apply these things. Thanks to you, you're most welcome, SK. My entry was from 181.25. Do you think I should close it now or wait for target profit? Man, you didn't yet close. What did I don't like to hold my trade after 12, around 12, something like that. You took the entry around 181. I don't know, brother. I want to see this market will trade this low of that last gap. But when it came to this new week opening gap, I'm done for the trade. Look at this gap. See this 50% of that new week opening gap. Just look at this gap 50% reaction. See this reaction? I wanna see that it will go through them, all of them, and finally it will go for this all-time high. I wanna see that. But that doesn't mean it is going to happen right now. It has already provided me whatever I needed. So at least until the low, and look over there the reaction from that constant and cosmet. Still I'm bullish until that low. I told that clearly. Until that low of that last parabolic from hourly chart, I'm bullish. But it doesn't mean that market will provide me that run as it has already reached in a certain level. So it's up to you, brother. I should not say you anything. It's up to you. Whatever you want to do, you can do, brother. I understand the inversion gap. What you explained, you bro. Okay, that's cool. Who is your favorite ICT streamer beside Michael himself? Now, I actually watch some streamer. I mean, there some of them are like except Tanya, because she is the the biggest streamer right now in YouTube who are trading the ICT concepts. And if you ask me about the Patrick, he is just a psycho. Okay, to be honest, he's just a psycho, nothing else. So Patrick, beside Patrick and Tania, I watch some other YouTuber. I mean, just to see what they're doing. Some of them are smaller than me. Some of them are a little bigger than me. Uh, I just watch them. Okay, not for judging, not for nothing. I just watch them to see how they talk, and because I really don't know how to make the conversation in live. I'm not a good public people, or something like I try to learn how they actually talk around the streaming. So I actually watch them, some of them. That's all. I don't know what to say. But who is you? I mean, Moon. Except Michael himself, who is your favorite ICT streamer? Moon. Don't call me sir, Jarani. I'm not sir. I'm just a brother. So don't call me sir, please. Can we see even higher? Generally, right now, I'm not thinking about that because market has already provided me more than enough. So, to be honest, until that low of that hourly last fair gap, I am bullish, and then maybe it can be the accumulation. I don't know how it is going to trade I mean, even from here, I really don't know how it is going to trade. But if you ask me, still I'm little bullish until that low of that hourly last parallel gap. Then maybe I'll change it. Okay, then maybe. I don't know. Tanya, she left today without trade. Okay, for no UT2 beside every. Okay. Don't tell me that I'm the best, please. I'm not the best. I'm learning. Okay, so much good content. Okay, Moon. I'm your favorite. That's cool. That's a great achievement for me. Thank you so much, brother, for writing it down. I really appreciate it, man. And it's a huge sometimes and don't explain like Tipu or Asif. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, she's a good trader, by the way. Can we go even higher? Brother, we can go. My bias is bullish from monthly chart. Please watch the first part of this stream from 9 to 9:30. Please watch that, okay? So you'll understand that what I'm expecting actually and how long I'm expecting that and how I'm expecting it. I explained it at the beginning of this stream 9 to 9:30. Exactly, I explained how it is going to work today. So please watch it, you'll get the point. But right now I'm just observing the low of that hourly last parallel gap, that low. Okay, exactly to that low. Until that low I'm expecting that market will go, and then how it is going to react, we'll see that. I mean, I can't just think like it will keep going higher, keep going higher, keep going higher. No, not like that. That low, perfect. I'm done for the day. Okay. But then I can't learn anything. I bet don't like that way. She's good. Notice she's a good trader and she trade ICT. Yeah, Lumi Traders is good. Obviously, she's good. But she do stream or not, I don't know. But she is more active in Twitter. Okay, she's more active in Twitter. Okay, it tapped to this low. Okay, I'm done for today. I'm done. It tapped to that low. I'm done for today. I don't care about anything else now. How it is going to trade, where it will go, I don't know. I don't want to trade. Maybe something, if I would love to trade, maybe I will make something more. But when it tapped to that low, I'm done. For 100% I'm done. Okay, so I told that it can reach until that low, not as in hindsight it reached over there. Perfect. I think my point is clear. Bro, you are a sniper. Consistency is the most important part. Yep, it's true. Back your call with explanation. Thank you so much, brother. Okay, guys, as it has reached until the area I was expecting, and now where it will go, I don't care. To be honest, I really don't know. So before closing, I would love to remind you one more time. Tomorrow is the last day for Apex 90% discount. If anyone is interested to use it, don't forget to use the code T2Wizard. For my funded futures, we have like 25% discount for starter class and the expert plan. Don't forget to use the code T2Wizard. Same time, take profit trader, we have 40% off, no activation fees for both take profit trader and my funded futures, and you will get that 40% off for take profit trader. Everything you can trade through TradingView. Okay, just don't forget to use the code T2Wizard, and also the Bluenox if any of you would love to use, please. And yeah, that's all for today. Before leaving this stream, don't forget to push the like button. I really appreciate that. Thanks for being here around the PM session. Don't know exactly when, but I will just do the PM session expansion. Why I was telling that it's gonna be the expansion, not the accumulation. I'm gonna explain that around the PM session Discord live. Okay, so until then, cheers guys.